As obvious as this is, it happens all the time. And in fact, this video, I'm going to be talking a lot to myself and offering myself a quick reminder. Now, before I get to some stuff up here on the board, this idea came from a comment that I got on a YouTube video I did. And I read it and I thought, oh my, what is it? Do you realize what you just said? But then it dawned on me and I thought, you know what? You did the same thing, Clay. In fact, you are always at threat of doing this very same thing. So like I said, this is why I want to kind of talk to myself too as I go through this. So I'm not making any of this in a judgmental way, but it is something that I see happen quite a bit. Now, is it this glaringly obvious? It's not quite this glaringly obvious, but people do it all the time. I did it when I first got started. And like I said, the threat is still there for me to do it in my current life right now. Maybe not when it comes to trading, but just any other area of life. So let's first get to this, and then I'm going to talk more so about that box right there. So let's get to the YouTube comment. So this person says, I didn't view this whole thing, but this is probably a short seller. Did you catch some of those key words right there? So let's just kind of map things out here a little bit. This box right here represents a trade plan, meaning you see some sort of opportunity. So I'm just going to call it XYZ. That could be a stock, option, futures, cryptocurrency. I mean, just anything. You see some sort of opportunity. And you're over here. And of course, you want to make money from that opportunity, right? Nothing fancy here. But what happens a lot, I don't want to say all the time, but it happens a lot, is that, and like I said, this isn't necessarily the person's fault, but what did this person say? You know, I didn't watch the whole thing. Wait a second. So in other words, they are going to make some sort of statement. So think about the context. I didn't watch the whole thing, meaning, okay, well, they don't have full clarity on everything. But yet, what do they still do? But it's probably, and then they go on to, a short seller, whatever they said. So think about that. They are making assumptions. They're making statements. They're making observations based on something where they admit to themselves they don't have the full idea. They don't have the full picture. And this happens all the time in trading, where people see an opportunity and then they go in and they put together a trade plan on it. And what happens most times, this person, like I said, it's hard for me to kind of believe that they literally typed up, I did not watch the whole thing, and then they went on to continue to comment on it. Like I said, we all do this in one way or another, but I mean, this person took it a little bit to an extreme. But what a lot of people do is, all right, I see that, I'm going to make money. And then this part here is all missing. And then they wonder why they're struggling. They wonder why they can't quite get any consistency. They wonder why the markets just feel rigged. Why does this feel like gambling? Why does it feel like anything what is going on? Well, what is going on is what you saw here. Is you are jumping to decisions. You are making decisions based on incomplete information. I'm not saying you don't have somewhat of a trade plan. You probably do. But even if you're just missing a little bit of the trade plan, that's going to cause a lot of headaches. That's going to cause a lot of inconsistency in the big picture of things because you don't have full clarity. You need to have a full understanding. And now, why do a lot of people let this happen? Well, it's missing because you don't know what you don't know. That looks like Hebrew or something like that. But anyways, when you don't know what you don't know, well, that's just kind of the cruel irony of the market where you think you have the full trade plan, but you actually don't. And the threat that I need to always remind myself is the moment you realize that you don't have the big picture, you can't be like this person and then just be like, but I'm still going to press forward. Wait, no. This person, obviously, when they said, I didn't watch the whole thing, you know what? This wise person, the person with wisdom is going to say, you know what? I probably should watch the whole thing before I go on to comment. Just like in trading, you really need to make sure that you do have the full trade plan. And that is very gray because when you don't know what you don't know, well, how are you supposed to get to it? Well, that's the benefit of going to and learning from somebody who does have a full trade plan, who has been there. And that's why there is knowledge in making an investment into your education. Now, whether that's with me or somebody else, that's one of those things where it's going to help you get clarity. It's going to help you get the big picture because it is very difficult to get the big picture when you don't know. For me to kind of apply this, I knew I wanted to get into real estate investing. And I thought, you know what? I do want to do real estate investing. And I saw the opportunity, so my little opportunity was, that's the worst looking house I've ever, in fact, that's so bad. There we go. So my opportunity was a house over there. I see real estate. But through my, years in trading, I thought, but you know what? I have an idea. I have a quote unquote trade plan for real estate investing. But you know what? I'm probably missing that because that's what trading taught me in the sense of trying to just slog through it myself. So that's why I went and invested, I think it was like $4,300 into, real estate investing training so that I could make sure that I did have the full, trade plan and that I wasn't missing anything out. So I, went from people that have done it before and do it, and things went very well. So as my point here is that for whatever reason, the human mind, it's crazy how you could admit that you don't have the full picture, yet you still proceed on. This person, like I said, literally admitted and typed, I did not watch the whole thing, but yet somehow in their mind, they continue to go on with the statement. So if you realize that you're new, then odds are you need to realize that you're probably missing something, especially if you feel like things are inconsistent, things are random, you're not quite, I'm not saying you never win, but you have a win and then you give it all back or you go on losing streaks and things just seem really muddled. This is what's going on is you see the opportunity and you're trying to make money from it, you just don't have full clarity. And the human mind is very tricky like that, as you saw here. Granted, a drastic situation, but still, if things can get that drastic, imagine all the little kind of areas that could be potentially causing you hiccups with not having full clarity as far as a trade plan, or like I said, really anything in life. If you are approaching something in life and you probably know, I don't think I've seen the whole thing. I don't think I know everything. Don't press on with it. Take a step back, do some, analysis, do some investing into learning how the full picture works, and then you're going to give yourself a much better chance at success. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.